All right, everyone. Now we need to talk about Kashpatel, current head of the FBI, and the FBI itself. There's an article, link in the description, archived, of course, suggesting that there needs to be considerable reform at the FBI. I have a different theory. I don't think the FBI can be reformed. It was originally incepted back in the Tommy gun toting era to fight off bootleggers and stuff like that. It was never meant to be a permanent bureau at all. It was never actually meant to be permanently incepted. Instead, because the government realized it was lucrative, they continued to renew its existence over and over again, and now it has become part of the political orthodoxy. And no politician apparently has the balls to suggest simply disbanding it. It's not necessary. Though the FBI is not responsible for a lot of the law enforcement in the country anyway, the overlap between the FBI and other bureaus, and with state enforcement, local enforcement, federal police, and so forth, is so vast that it's literally not necessary for it to exist in any form. And it shouldn't. Same with the IRS, same with the Department of Education. Notice the Trump administration is gunning for the Department of Education and the IRS, which I applaud and I support deeply, but for some reason the FBI merely needs to be reformed. We need some reorganization in this particular bureau. We need to reform it. No, you don't. There's no reforming to be done. The FBI just got done over multiple years encouraging censorship on private platforms and basically going mafia mode and saying, well, it would be a shame if we were to investigate you. Be a shame if we broke your legs backwards. With Mark Zuckerberg, of course, that threat would be hollow because he appears to have inverted joints on his legs sometimes anyway. Why would you think that you can reform the FBI? It's delusional to think that that could happen. What you need to do is just get rid of it entirely. Like the FBI is responsible for multiple crimes against humanity over the course of the last few decades. Why retain them? It makes absolutely no sense. The people that are in charge, generally speaking, are the same people that were in charge that we know are corrupt. The people that are working as field agents and so forth, they're basically the same people as well. And it's not because people enter the FBI wanting to be corrupt. I think the average recruit at the FBI wants to do a good job. They think, hey, I'm going to fight crime. I'm going to find the murderer. I'm going to find the rapist. I'm going to study this forensic evidence and uncover some plot, and it'll be sort of like something out of cinematography. But that's not really the reality now, is it? Over time, these people encounter managerial individuals who are corrupt. And if they don't become corrupt, well, then they don't get the promotion now, do they? Hey, I want you to plant this evidence. Well, that sounds unethical. Well, if you don't, you can always be demoted to janitor. This happens all the time within bureaucracy. This is the whole problem of bureaucracy. The FBI is a fundamentally corrupted organization at this point and is more like organized crime than most organized crime rings are. And they weren't doing their job. When crime was spiking in the United States, did the FBI manage to stop it? No. When people come into the country illegally and sell fentanyl or traffic children, stuff like that, who is generally responsible for the arrests? ICE agents or stadies or something like that. The local cops, the FBI. The FBI it's like known to the FBI has become a meme for a reason. The Tsarnaevs and so forth. Somebody's already on their radar clearly making terroristic threats, but they ignore them. Meanwhile, they'll raid a house because somebody had a joint. This is ludicrous. It's costly, it's inefficient, and it was meant to be temporary. It was never meant to be a permanent bureau in the first place. Same with many other bureaus. Most of them should be disbanded. You could probably get rid of half of the bureaucrats in the United States and people would save a lot of money, things would be more efficient, and all of a sudden there'd be fewer people in prison. Oh my God. That would be a terrible time, though, wouldn't it? It would be a terrible country. You know, the anarchy would reign. It will be anarchy because, of course, we didn't have a nation before the formation of any of these bureaus. Up until literally now, in the modern era, our country was uncivilized, backwards, disorganized, and made no sense. No, actually, I believe we were already a rising power with relative peace, other than the slavery question, by the 1820s, if I remember correctly. Interesting, because 90% of those bureaus didn't exist back then. What happened is that Congress continues to incept bureaus, giving them open-ended power and limitless funding, of course, it goes up every single year, and then turns them loose and basically says, no, that's your responsibility now. We're no longer responsible for that particular task. We're not responsible for environmental regulation. The EPA is. We're not responsible for educational bills. The DOE will take care of that. We're not responsible for making sure that criminals are prosecuted and passing bills regarding policing. The FBI will handle it. We're not responsible for drug smugglers and pirates and stuff like that. Now, the CIA and the Coast Guard can take care of it. They do this over and over again. That's basically the name of the game. Congress literally has simply abandoned its own responsibilities duly incepted under the Constitution to create a system of bureaus that do it for them. And unfortunately, that necessitates that those bureaus eventually grow out of hand. It's like when you get a little puppy dog. Oh, you so cute, little wiggly wiggly. A few years later, it's a mastodonic hound that's capable of literally dragging you when you're holding its leash. That's basically how bureaucracy has worked in the United States. That little mastiff puppy was so cute. Now it weighs 200 pounds, and you're no longer capable necessarily of restraining it. And so somebody has to put it in a kennel. We're going to need a little more manpower to do that. The FBI should simply be disbanded. Kash Patel, I guarantee, will do a decent job, but the Bureau itself should not even exist. What Patel should do is go before Trump and the American people and say, hey, I like this job, but I shouldn't even be working it. It should not even exist. That would really be taking one for the team. It would make him a fucking national hero. We'll wait to see what kind of reform they have in mind. That's about all. Peace out.